Hey there, welcome to Main Street Living. I'm Cheryl Nelson.
Hey guys, I'm Quincy Carr.
And I'm Danielle Alvari.
So I'm super psyched because it's spring break time for many folks, and many people are venturing out, especially after this past year, guys, of being so cooped up because of the pandemic. Of course, venturing out safely, masking up still, social distancing. But it got me thinking about past spring breaks and if we've ever gone anywhere, right? Does that bring up some memories for you guys too?
I'm wishing that as an adult we still had spring and summer vacation because it seems like way too long since I've had a spring break.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
and it's almost like I'm kind of in the springy mood. I mean, look at the hat our producer.
Yeah, you are full spring.
I know, I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, you
And
like that?
spring break, I mean, yeah, as an adult, I guess it's not as exciting unless you're a teacher and you get that week off. But I found a picture from high school. A couple of my girlfriends and I decided to drive a couple hours from Richmond down to Virginia Beach. I don't know why we decided to dig this big hole and then all climb in
No
it.
one
But
knows why.
I know, we thought it was
just do it.
clever and then
Yeah.
got a random
Carol, you got to tell the
person.
people where you are in this, though.
Yeah, that's
'Cause
you in the
I
middle.
was. No.
It's not?
No, it's not me in the middle. So I'm actually on the right with the curly hair.
What?
Yes. I know my hair is naturally curly.
I need to see the
obviously
natural curl
darker.
someday, Cheryl.
Yeah, I know. Pretty crazy, right? It's things change over the years.
That is a
Quincy,
sign
what
that
about
you haven't been on spring break recently enough.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I know with me, man, I don't remember many spring break vacations as a kid, but as a family member, my family, we went to SeaWorld a couple years ago. So that was a pretty cool, fun moment, fun time. As you can see I guess it's a killer whale, or is it called something else?
I don't know what it's called, but I
orca?
love SeaWorld. I love everything.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that you can see that in the background. But that
That's
was
so cute. Danielle,
Yeah.
what about you?
My spring breaks that I remember most recently were in college, and they were right here in Las Vegas. So, full circle.
Oh, all right. So nothing scandalous to show us here.
Oh, just bikinis,
Yeah, all right.
I'll spare you guys.
We've got a great show today, as usual, and I'm looking forward to this.
Yes, we have clowns and clouds, if you can believe it.
Oh yeah, and we learn of a foundation created to keep a father's memory alive.
And we will get some expert tips for a perfect road trip. But first, we're going to preview a top spring break destination. Find out where that is next. Welcome back to Main Street Living. Danielle, Quincy, you know that I love travel, always on the go, on the road, on an airplane. And we are getting ready to talk about one of my favorite cities.
Yes, we've been talking about it all show long. It's spring break season, and that means a lot of us looking for a fun, safe getaway. And luckily, there are some great options this year, and sunny San Diego is at the top of that list for a lot of people. So here to talk to us today about that, Candice Eley, an expert on all things San Diego. Candice, I have to say, I'm very jealous you get to live in San Diego year round. It seems like it should always be on our short list to travel to, right?
Yeah, I'm going to admit those of us who live in San Diego are pretty lucky. And especially during this last year, when we've all been staying at home more and, trying to do safe activities, San Diego's really lucky that we have great weather all year round. So we've been able to go out and still do, enjoy being in San Diego, even during this past year of quarantine.
Yeah, and Candice, so many things that people can do. There's the museum attractions and they're reopening and everything. But what are some of the things the visitors can do safely on a trip to San Diego?
Yeah, we're really lucky that we have a lot of options for folks that are still safe that you can continue to do right now. Outdoor recreation is definitely one of them. San Diego is all about the outdoors. Our residents love being out, and it's something that visitors enjoy too. When you're here, you just get that good vibe of being in the sun, smelling the ocean air. It really does wonders for your soul. So
Right.
everything from, if you're a water lover, you can kayak, you can paddleboard, you can surf, you can just hang out by the beach. That's my personal favorite. And
so Danielle, I don't know if you heard this beautiful tag for San Diego. San Diego, it does good for the soul. I like
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was saying a lot of active things, and then she's like, "Oh, we're laying by the beach." And I was like, "Now we're talking." I know
Exactly.
I don't know
Yeah,
if there's
yeah.
people like me. So besides the beach, what is the situation with restaurants in San Diego right now?
Well, fortunately, indoor dining is back. We do have our restaurants operating at a reduced capacity to keep it safe. And if you're not quite comfortable with indoor dining yet, I know some people aren't, outdoor dining is super easy to find here. Again, we're privileged that we have such nice mild weather year round, that outdoor dining has always been big for us. But even in the last year, we've seen a lot of restaurants get creative, adding more outdoor spaces. The neighborhoods have added little parklets where restaurants can extend their outdoor areas to keep everything super safe. So you can still enjoy a nice meal. You can still enjoy a craft cocktail and feel good that you're protected and that the staff is protected as well.
Yeah, and you like, could we just double back and talk about the museums at, I believe it's Balboa Park?
Yeah, Balboa Park.
You can't take food in there, Quincy. No, I know where you're going with this. You can't.
Or drinks, if that was your next question. But our museums are open, which is fantastic. In Balboa Park, there's 17 different museums. So that's everything from air and space to art museums to model railroad museums. So no matter what you're looking for, you can find something there. We do, ask visitors to double check with any place they're planning to go, whether it's a restaurant, a museum, whatever the case may be, just to verify their opening status and their hours, because of course every business is, responding to the pandemic in their own way.
Yeah. So with the spring break season, that's like the test of getting back out their season. So for families wanting to get away, are there any special deals?
Yeah, absolutely. If you go to our site, which is sandiego.org, and go to sandiego.org/spring, we've got some special deals there from our partners. Hotels like the Hotel Solamar, which is downtown, the San Diego Mission Bay Resort, or the Town and Country Resort in Mission Valley, which just went through an amazing renovation, so it looks fabulous. They've all got special deals right now, so you can take advantage of that, of course, and then the activities on top of it. It's a great option for families. It's also a great option for a couple looking to get away. Spring break might look a little different right now. It's more about relaxing than partying, but you can still enjoy a good break.
Yeah, Danielle, no parties.
Okay, I've outgrown any kind of partying possibilities for myself. But Candice, so what is your idea of a perfect day in San Diego? What are your can't misses, your must-sees?
Absolutely. I have to do a hike at Torrey Pines. It's one of the most beautiful spots. It overlooks the ocean. As you're going down the hike, you can end on the beach, maybe have a little picnic down there. I'm a big fan of Balboa Park, as we talked about. But we have, some other great museums like the Museum of Contemporary Art downtown that you can check out. And so some of the neighborhoods have been hosting really fun, creative events, again, that are very safe. Like the Barrio Logan neighborhood has been doing, on Saturdays, they've been doing sort of a walk the block kind of atmosphere where they have, the retail shops and folks offering handcrafted goods out on the sidewalk. Again, super safe, outdoors, a way for you to enjoy the neighborhood, maybe pick up, something that was made locally to take back as a souvenir.
All right. And lastly, where can viewers find all these special deals? And what about the theme parks, really quick?
Yeah, absolutely. Our theme parks are reopening, and they are offering some, fun ways to kind of keep things lively and fresh for the guests that are coming. The San Diego Zoo has their spring adventure through April 11th, which has, live musicians performing throughout the park. Legoland California is reopening on April 1st. And then SeaWorld has the Seven Seas Food Festival, which they're doing, which goes through May 2nd. So a lot of options out there. You can find more information about all of this at sandiego.org. And also through also through our social media channels, which is at Visit San Diego on Instagram, and then of course Facebook.com/San Diego.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, thank you so much for being a part of the show today. We certainly appreciate it. Can't wait to
Thank you
Thanks
guys
so much, Candice.
Hope we can see you here soon.
You got it.
Yeah.
You got it. Well, Danielle, now that we have a little taste of what sunny San Diego offers, what do you say we get on the road and explore a little bit more and prepare for spring break 2021? Let's find Cheryl.
I will be on the beach.
Yeah, let's find Cheryl in her high mileage car. We'll be right back.
Welcome back into Main Street Living. Now, guys, spring break is just around the corner. Do you guys have any plans?
Nothing for spring break week. Just, avoiding some of the crowds. But I think later in April, I'm going to do something. Q, what about you?
Yeah, just doing a couple of things with the family, just finally getting away. Our daughter needs it, so.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we need to get away.
Yes, I know. And whether you're planning a road trip for spring break or maybe a summer vacation, we can all use some advice for our next driving adventure. Burton Hughes, the general manager of Subaru of Las Vegas, is here with some road trip tips for the next time you hit the open road. So excited about this because, as Quincy knows, I love road trips, and now I'm 337,000 miles on my car and counting.
It's a lot of miles.
He just laughs at me. So tell me this. Prepare with share is my motto. So what are some things we should be doing as we prepare for a spring or summer road trip?
Well, my daughter just took a road trip recently, and she has 252,000 miles on her car.
Wow.
And the first thing I said is, let's get that car in to have it inspected. You know, a lot of service centers will inspect a road trip inspection for free and, go through the vehicle, check your fluids, check your tires, your air pressures. And you know what they found on my daughter's car was the tires actually had some of the dry rot cracking, which is hard to detect. And so we put brand new tires on it before she headed out on the open road.
Wow.
Well, now, tires are extremely important, especially when the roads are hot. It depends what part of the country you're driving on, so that can cause it to unravel. But are there any other safety precautions that we should keep in mind?
Well, you want to make sure that you have a backup plan for if something were to happen on the road. I would recommend having either inspect your insurance documents to make sure, do you have roadside coverage? I took a trip in a motorhome, and 100 miles out of town, one of my tires blew unexpectedly. Ooh. and I had it all prepared. I knew that I could call my insurance company, and they sent a tow truck out and changed the tire. So maybe you have AAA or something like that. But it's important to keep safety, at the top of the mind. If you're going into cold weather, you might even want to have a roadside kit, a first aid kit, things like that.
Absolutely. And we are on the same page here. You should see the trunk of my car. I've got all kinds of prep items in there, even a box to help or rescue an animal. So I am all about being prepared. And I remember road trips as a kid. I was one of those kids going, Mom, Dad, are we there yet? And I probably made them super cranky. So what are your tips for making the road trip more positive for everybody involved?
Well, if you're carrying kids or you're carrying maybe some older people, they're gonna want to have some things to do to pass the time. So maybe it's games, maybe it's a Game Boy, maybe it's a video, maybe it's an iPad. Make sure that you've got your passengers stocked with snacks, refreshments, water. I fill all of the cup holders with bottles of water when I go on a road trip, and maybe even keep some extra in the back,
Exactly. And then plan out your bathroom stops too. Make sure you know when you're going to stop.
That's what the extra cups are for, Cheryl.
No.
Yeah, so Cheryl was talking about, bothering the parents. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? But now as a parent, especially as a guy, sometimes we don't want to listen to the passengers. So turn left. Why did you miss the left? Why aren't you following the map? Why aren't you doing it? So what's your advice on, sticking to a map, or just kind of just freelance and driving?
Ooh.
So, I think it's important to have a plan, and you need to kind of map out where you're going to go, because you've got only a certain amount of time. So, you need to have a plan and share that plan with some loved ones, maybe family members, so that they know when to expect you to return, or maybe you should check in with them from time to time. But always bear in mind that there's going to be the possibility you're going to see an exit ramp that's going to take you somewhere, and you're going to experience something really special. So always make time for those little detours, and enjoy the trip.
So important there. I know that is key. And when you're driving through different states, there can sometimes be unexpected issues. Different states might have different laws, like holding the cell phone, for example. What are some tips to make sure you know what you're getting into?
So that's a great point you've made. I'd go on and check, like, for instance, if you're driving into the state of California, did you know that if you're holding a drink or some food in your hand when you're driving, you could be cited? So
What?
Yes, you could get a ticket for holding a drink in your hand while you're driving in California. So please, make yourself aware of what the unique laws are in certain states. Maybe right turns on red. Are they legal in your state? Maybe they're not legal in the state you're going to.
That is crazy. I know radar detectors are another one in some states. You can have some, you can't. So, wow, I never thought of that. I mean, I always have water when I'm driving. So in California, you can't even be sipping on a water bottle?
Yeah.
So, when I go there, I always am watchful. When I get ready to take a drink of water, I look around to make sure that there are no officers of the law looking.
Wow. Well, lastly, because we can talk all day, you're a ball of fun here. One final tip for a successful trip. You got one final tip. What would it be?
Have fun. I mean, road trips, when you're on a road trip, you're going to see things you would normally probably just pass by and ignore. Have fun. Enjoy the moment. Experience life.
Seize the day. I love that. Count the license plates, states, add them up, have fun, sing along to the radio. I'm all for it. That's it. Road trip. We're going out to Las Vegas.
We're going in your car, Cheryl. We're not taking mine. Thanks again, Burton, for being a part of the show.
My pleasure.
No problem. Well, Cheryl, looks like we have our trips for safe travel if we're behind the wheel. But up next, we're going to slow it down a bit and explore the outdoors while on an electric bike ride. Welcome back to Main Street Living, everybody. Now, no matter how we choose to explore or simply just enjoy the outdoors, ladies, when the weather is great, there's really only one true way to take it all in, right?
Yes, I know. Spring is here, and this is the perfect time to go exploring on a bike. But if you're feeling a little out of shape after a year, in lockdown, or if you want to make sure the whole family can keep up at the same pace, an electric bike might be exactly what you need. Take a look.
It's amazing.
That's the operative word. It is fun.
Pedego electric bikes are amazing. They're just like regular bikes, but they have a motor in the back hub, Samsung lithium batteries, and the bikes, when you fully charge them, they go about 45 to 60 miles per charge.
One of the really great things about these bikes is it doesn't matter what your age or ability, you can keep up with anybody.
Me and my sister are always looking for some adventure, and she's like, let's go do this electric mile, bike ride. And I'm like, let's go. And no experience, never ridden an electric bike. We ride our beach cruisers down at the ocean front a lot, but we're always up for an adventure.
Our group today, we've got 25 people, about 15 are Pedego owners, and we've got about 8 renters.
We are taking a route from Smithfield, which, you know, is the cutest little quaint town, and that's where we were meeting. And then we were driving all the way to Bacon's Castle, which is the oldest house in North America, apparently. And it's a beautiful fall day. I mean, couldn't ask for more perfect weather. So you can choose to use the pedal assist or just ride it like a regular bike. The pedal assist kicks in and it makes it go faster. Or there's also a throttle, like when you're going up a hill, so it's almost like a moped in a way, where you don't have to pedal at all if you don't want to or if you get tired. It's pretty easy and pretty effortless if you want it to be.
Everybody loves to ride a Pedego. It's one of the most enjoyable parts of owning this business is seeing so many people smiling, having a good time, relaxing and enjoying themselves.
They're just fun to ride. It's like everything you like about bicycling and more. It's great.
Wow, ladies. Now, the cool thing about that is these things can go up to 40 miles, not an hour, but up to 40 miles on one charge. That's
Wow.
Interesting. And then what happens after that?
You have to pedal, Cheryl, at some point. It's a bike.
No. They're electric bikes for a reason. And you can find out more about Pedego electric bikes or rent in your area at pedegoelectricbikes.com. All right. Well, switching gears a little bit, coming up on Main Street Living, COVID-19 has been tough on all of us, and we will share an inspiring story of turning tragedy into hope. Stay with us.
Hey, welcome back to Main Street Living. Now, Danielle, Cheryl, COVID has definitely impacted us all, right?
Yeah, it really has across the board. And for many people, it's even brought the devastating loss of a family member. And our next guest lost his father to COVID, and he decided to try to turn that tragedy into something that would help others. Please welcome to the show, Stone Freeman, founder of Live Like Russ Foundation. Stone, thank you so much for joining us today, and we are so sorry for your loss.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that on behalf of my family and I, and thank you for having me today and giving us an opportunity to talk about our journey here.
Absolutely. And your dad, Russ Freeman, died from COVID-19 last December, and after such a tragic loss, you and your family decided to try to help others. Why did you decide to start a foundation in his honor, and you did it so quickly, too?
Yeah, I think our thing, that's been a question that a lot of people have asked. And I think part of it is to help us kind of get through this ourselves, is to help us feel, you know, a little different than the darkness that we felt over the last couple months. But largely too, this is just something that Dad would have done. And that's our mantra right now is not only to live like Russ, but to, if there was any other families in our communities that, you know, have suffered anything, Dad was always the first person to kind of help out. So we felt that now we can give back and do what he would want to do and help people as much as we can.
I know he'd be so proud of you. He raised you so well.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. So how did you decide what direction you wanted the foundation's support to go?
Yeah, right now it's kind of twofold. Our first primarily was a scholarship fund, and that's because he was so important to Dad. Education, primarily, you know, higher education. Me and my two sisters are both at the University of Rhode Island or graduates of the University of Rhode Island. Dad had a bachelor's and a master's degree, but also just kind of educating yourself on getting better in whatever field you might be in. So he was really involved at the Department of Corrections and training the newest recruits and whatnot. So it not necessarily just for college and whatnot, but giving students and people an opportunity to continue getting better in their field was something that was really important to him and now important to us at the foundation.
Wow. It takes a lot of courage and inner strength to do what you're doing and to talk about this and try to help others. And raising money too is not easy to do. So how are you going about doing that?
Well, right now it's not us, it's our community. And that's really been, you know, our pillar right now that's holding us up is our community here in Rhode Island. Dad was from Cape Cod in Massachusetts, so his community back home. The Rhode Island Brotherhood of Correctional Officers, where my mother and father were both or are correctional officers still in my mom's case. All these different communities have come together and have really rallied around us. We've done a wristband that says "Live Like Russ" on him with his badge number 1163, and that started off as just, hey, make a donation, you get a wristband. And we did a drive-by outside our house, and we got upwards of $4,000 just there outside of our house. So our community has really helped us. And now we have a lot of people that have local businesses and whatnot that, are donating a portion of their sales on certain days to our foundation. And that's allowed us to grow a little bit.
Wow. Yeah. You mentioned those bracelets, Live Like Russ. What is the ultimate goal of the Live Like Russ Foundation?
I think the ultimate goal is to just kind of spread exactly what Dad was here on Earth, because there's this kind of this mantra, and it happens to everybody when they lose somebody, is versus was. And there is a side of it that will always, was Big Russ, was my dad, Russell Freeman. But the is what we can continue to carry on, and that's helping people out. So in the long run, again, we want to get scholarships out to students, but then also as we continue to grow, anybody that needs help in our family and community, and we feel that they could use our support and something that Dad would be passionate about, we will do whatever we can to help them out.
Wow.
Amazing.
And before we go, could you share with other viewers who are watching and explain to them why everybody should take COVID so seriously? Because I'm sure this loss was unexpected for you.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's just about listening to people right now and hearing what's important. Me and my family are fortunate where we're starting this vaccination process right now, and we want this over just as much as anybody, but it's not over yet. And that's the concerning part is numbers continue to decrease. I think, at least in Rhode Island, we're starting to see that, but it doesn't mean it's over. And I think the only thing that I would ask you, like today I saw the Rhode Island Department of Health, it said only one person had died, that deaths are decreasing. And my instinct is to say, yeah, that's a good thing, right? But that's also one family that has to go through what we're going through. So that's my only reminder. I look at the transparency report by the state of Rhode Island every day, and there's only one state employee death, and it's our dad. So my concern and my logic is just think about that one person and that one person's family, and wear your mask, do what the scientists and people that are doing far more research than I am are saying, and just be safe, because you might feel invincible, but that doesn't mean everybody is. So just be cautious.
Good advice.
So important. And Stone, where can people find more information or make a donation to the foundation?
Yeah, you can reach us. That's my personal Twitter. So I'm always on Twitter. Feel free to interact with me. We also have a Gmail that you can feel free to send an email to. It's livelikeruss1163@gmail.com. And then we also just started a Venmo account, which is just Live Like Russ Foundation. If you want to make a donation via Venmo, feel free to do so.
All right.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Stone.
Thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you again.
And I know
Thank
Russ's
you.
memory will live on, Stone. So thank you again for all you're doing.
Absolutely. So safe to say, Cheryl, that life truly ups and downs can really be a circus. And coming up, we are going to get to speak with a circus who has found a way to do some good all year round. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to Main Street Living. I think that we can all agree that after the year we've been through, we deserve some fun and some laughter, right?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I'm hugely on board with all of that. And of course, with everything we've been through in the past year, we can all use a little distraction and some laughter, maybe even a circus with some clowns, right? Well, it just so happens our next guest, they've been providing serious fun throughout neighborhoods in San Diego for 30 years, and they bring a whole new meaning of running away with the circus. So welcome to Main Street Living, John Hyken and also Memo Mendez. How you guys doing?
Great. Glad to be here.
Well, glad to have you here. Love your background.
Good.
I don't know what's going on with Memo's background over there, but I love yours, John.
Oh, thanks.
Just poking a little fun.
Yeah.
Hey, what about my background? Come on, Quincy. It's a beautiful background.
Yeah,
Come on, man.
So beautiful. Now, guys, look, you've been running the Fern Street Circus for 30 years, and you put on a free community performance, okay? For, like throughout those years, like what do your events look like?
Well, first of all, we make a strong effort to collaborate with a lot of artists from different genres, different areas. So we create a welcoming, really beautiful set, physical. We perform in a ring. We work with the finest circus pros in San Diego and live music. And we bring together students that we teach in an after-school program. For years, we were in Golden Hill, and since 2015, we've been in City Heights. But we mix the kids that we teach with the working adult performers. So it's multi-generational. And we tell stories a little that have some concern, that reflect concern of the artists, of the families we work with, and the communities in which we work, and try and keep them humorous and enjoyable, but at least to some kind of connection to what's going on in the lives of the people we're performing for.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, in fact,
so you guys,
John, if I can say something real quick.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, we had a show, and it was a show that we had, that we dealt with the issue of healthcare, because what happens at the beginning of the show is that our main clown, Otis, well, what happens is he breaks his funny bone right at the beginning of the show, breaks his funny bone, Quincy. And so the whole show revolves around how we're going to get this poor clown some health care. And as you all know, in this country, it's not easy.
And of course, funny bone is a mythical bone someplace over in here. Yeah.
So you guys call yourself a social circus. What exactly does that mean?
Well, it's an international movement, and Cirque du Soleil had been at the forefront of it.
Exactly.
We're part of a national network, and it's basically people across the world who are using circus for a greater good, working in low-income neighborhoods, really providing accessible, equitable access to circus, both in performance, but most especially in teaching of youth.
Wow. Now, just piggybacking on that.
Absolutely.
If you can answer this, a big part of your mission is helping the kids. So what does that actually look like?
Well, we're from City Heights. We're grounded in City Heights. And as you all know, it's a neighborhood. It's an interesting neighborhood that has so many ethnicities, so many languages in it. It's a working class neighborhood. We're from that neighborhood, so we know the problems. And what we try to do is provide these kids some education on things that they normally wouldn't have an opportunity to learn. So imagine when you were a kid. When you were a kid, did you have the opportunity to learn how to juggle, to learn how to do acrobatic stuff, to learn how to walk on a tight wire, and to do that in front of an audience? What that does is it builds in those kids it pushes them. It pushes them, and they push themselves to work with adults, to be able to present in front of an audience and be confident in the process. And that helps them in their careers. It helps them in their relationships, with their parents, with school. It's very important for them.
Absolutely, man, that's true.
And one thing is that we operate year round, so we don't go away. Cool. And I think that's really key. We have kids who've been learning with us, especially we've got 3 teenagers now who've been working on tight wire and are really wonderful. And they've been with us for since 2015, so 6 years. So not going away is really, really important to our becoming part of the fabric of the lives of the families we work with.
I like it.
So in line with not going away, obviously the pandemic struck. And what did you guys do to keep your mission going? Everybody obviously had to make some adjustments.
Well, one of the things is that we always like to consider ourselves a professional performing troupe. So we did some work. Memo was a big part of this, but we found a way to be of use in performance. We connected, especially with San Diego Unified School District, and we created what we called pop-up performance at drive-through food lines at schools. It did a few other things beyond that, but families come in, food insecure families, people of all economic backgrounds who were really hurting, have been really hurting, and they would, as they slow down to 1 or 2 miles an hour to get their food, there's a clown performing, there's a juggler, there's live music, tight wire and such, and then 2 announcers, bilingual announcers. And we talked a lot about the census all the way through from mid-May until mid-October. We got, in fact, at one point had the Census Bureau come out and actually sign up families, get them to fill out their census form. So
that's amazing. Well, John, Memo, I don't want to cut you guys off, but where can people find more information about you guys?
Well, I'll tell you real quickly that we also moved our instruction on Zoom. We are at fernstreetcircus.com, and you can see what we're doing, and we're building a new outdoor space in City Heights that is going to be really spectacular. Be able to move from Zoom onto live in-person instruction for our core students.
Okay, cool. Well, we certainly appreciate you guys being a part of the show, and thank you for doing what you're doing for your community, and we know it's going to spread around. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Very cool. You can do it on Zoom now. You can do it from anywhere. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
All right, stick with us. We got a lot more fun coming up. This time it's fun with clouds. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back into Main Street Living. Guys, I love this show. We're talking all about the good weather and spring. And one of my favorite things that I used to do is just lay in the grass and look at the different shapes of clouds, and try to figure out what the shapes were.
I love that.
Yeah.
You're like a little meteorologist like I am. I love that. So as a meteorologist, you guys know clouds are my thing. So this do-it-yourself cloud experiment from our friend Sari Custer with the Arizona Science Center might need to go on my weekend to-do list. Check it out.
Hey guys, hope you're ready for a little more Sari on Science, because today we're going to investigate a little bit of weather. Well, specifically, cloud formation. See, we're moving from winter into spring, and we always see weather and lots of clouds this time of year. So we're going to talk about cloud formation. And did you know Arizona Science Center knows how to make a cloud indoors? I'm going to show you how I made that cloud in just a moment. But first, let's talk about how clouds form in nature. First, warm, moist air rises up from the ground into the atmosphere. When it gets up high, there's a rapid drop in pressure, causing it to spread out and cool down really fast. When that happens, any of the moisture, that water that's in gas form, condenses around dust particles in the air to form water droplets. All of those droplets together form a cloud. So with the cloud we made here, I used some special ingredients. First, I used liquid nitrogen, which is 321 degrees below zero. It's really, really cold. All right, we got gloves, we got goggles, and we got a shield. Safety first. And then we used boiling hot water. When we make them combine, one that's really cold and one that's really hot, they almost have an explosive reaction. And as they're trying to both cool each other off and heat each other up, we've got rapid cooling happening for our boiling water. And when that happens, now we're starting to see this reaction that gives us our water droplets in the air, and we get a big cloud. Now, while you likely don't have liquid nitrogen at your house, I can still show you how to make your very own cloud at home. First, you're going to need a 2-liter bottle. Then you're going to need a little bit of rubbing alcohol. And last, I recommend getting one of these pressure keepers, little pumps that help keep soda pressurized. You can find them at your favorite online retailer, or check around to see what store might have them near you. All right, so add a little bit of rubbing alcohol into your 2-liter bottle. You don't need too much, just a couple of tablespoons should do. Then you're going to take the pressure keeper, the little pump, and you're going to screw that right onto the top and make sure it fits really tightly. And then you're going to keep pumping so that you can build up the pressure inside the bottle. So when you're doing this, you're going to keep pumping, keep pumping. The alcohol simulates the water vapor that's in the air. So we're going to have some alcohol vapor in there. And we're going to build up the pressure and then release it. So there's a really fast drop in pressure inside the bottle. And we're going to get some of that alcohol vapor to form into droplets and form a cloud. Are you ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Right inside the bottle, a cloud in a bottle. All right, I hope that was a little bit of fun. I hope you get a chance to try that at home. If you want to find more science, you can always find us online at azscience.org.
Oh, guys, that was so much fun. When I lived in Syracuse, I actually did something like that similar on the air. The air temperature was minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit. I took some hot water, threw it up, and it went condensed into a cloud. Really, really cool. So if you like this kind of stuff like I do, you can always find more science fun and experiments to amaze your friends at azscience.org.
That's right. Well, there's no more rain happening here, but we got more Main Street Living coming up next.
Welcome back to Main Street Living, wrapping up another show.
Yes, guys, that one flew by, right? Just like this last year. We've already done a year of Main Street Living, if you can believe it. Next week is our birthday show. 1 year.
We are turning 1.
Birthday. You know, the little. Yeah. So just like the show is on the go and on the move, you can also continue to catch us on our Cox Contour app as well. So a lot of fun today, ladies.
Yes, next week. You can't miss it. The birthday show. We're going to take a look back at some of our favorite episodes as well. Don't forget, new episodes of Main Street Living Mondays at 9 p.m. local time. We'll see you next time as we take a stroll down Main Street.